What is matter made of? How does the particle model of matter explain some observed properties and changes in matter? Good day everyone, and good day to my grade 8 students and to all the students out there. Hello, kumusta kayo? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is me again, Teacher Lynn May. Syempre ang kasama mo sa iyong science journey. Syempre, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more updates in Science 8. For today's lesson vlog, we're going to discuss about the particle nature of matter, and you'll be familiarized with these terms: the matter, atom, molecule, and angstrom. This module about particle nature of matter will shape your understanding and thinking about the macroscopic view of materials that was emphasized when you were in grade 3 to grade 7 about the submicroscopic view of matter. Your understanding of the particle nature of matter is crucial on how you will understand what is taught in the life, physical, and earth sciences. In addition, understanding of this particle nature of matter helps you to explain the concepts such as chemical bonding, chemical reactions, the effects of pressure, temperature, and volume on gases, changes in the state of matter, properties such as density and compressibility, and topics in life sciences such as osmosis and diffusion. In this lesson vlog, we're going to perform 3 activities, and activity 1 is all about which is matter and which is not. For activity number 2, what is matter made of? And for activity number 3, are the particles of matter moving? What is between them? Okay, so simulan na natin bago tayo mag-explain kung tungkol saan ba itong matter na to. Before we proceed in explaining and defining what is matter, so let us perform a simple activity wherein you're going to identify the samples whether they are matter or not. So just tell me if it is say yes if it is a matter and no if not. Okay, so I want you to get scratch paper and then you list down all the samples that I am going to cite. Okay, for number 1, I have prepared here a sugar granules. Okay, so I get this from the kitchen. Okay, second, we have, okay, may tubig tayo dito. Water, ang number 2. And then we also have a stone here. Okay, stone. Kinuha ko siya sa aquarium. And then we also have leaves. Leaf lang pala kasi isa lang. Okay, oregano. Mabango pa siya. And then we also have the air inside the ball. So, wala ako ditong ball. So, ito na lang picture. And then we also have here the smoke. And heat. And light. Okay, now, tell me your answer. Sugar granules. Matter or not? Very good. Yes, this is a matter. Water. Is it matter or not? Of course, it is also a matter. Very good. How about the stone? Matter or not? Okay, very good. It is also a matter. Air inside the ball. Matter or not? Very good. That is also a matter. How about the leaf? Leaf. How about the leaf? Yes, this is also a matter. Now, how about the smoke? Matter or not? Yes, that is also a matter. Now, let us have the heat. Ang heat. Of course, it's not a matter. How about the light? Yes, that is not a matter. Now, let's discuss this. Now, my question is, what similarities have you observed on the first 5 given samples? We have the sugar granules, the water, stone, air inside the ball, and the leaf. Okay, very good. So, as you can observe, these first 5 samples can be measured. Paano ba ma-measured itong mga samples na to? Look at the sugar granules. Paano ka ba bumibili ng asukal? Sinasabi mo ba na kailangan mong bumili ng 20 na butil ng granules ng sugar? Hindi, di ba? So, bumibili ka ng sugar, sinasabi mo na 1/4, 1/2 kilo, or 1 kilo. Okay, so na-measure siya. So, how about the water? Ganon din ang water. So, ang water, kapag bumibili kayo ng water, pwede mo ring sabihin kung ilang ml ng water ang bibilin mo. Siya ba ay 500 ml, 1 liter, 1 gallon? So, nasusukat din natin yan. Okay, how about the stone? Okay, ang stone, pwede rin natin siyang sukatin by its mass. So, pwede natin siyang timbangin at ganun din, ano. Okay, and air inside the ball, we can also measure that. And of course, we can also measure the leaf, okay? Do you think all the samples can occupy space? Yes or no? Lahat bang ito nag-occupy ng space? Okay, no. Lahat nag-occupy ng space except for the last 2, which are the light and heat. Okay? How about the smoke? We considered smoke as a matter, but do you think it can occupy space? Do you think it has mass? Can we measure the smoke? Yes, of course. If collected in a container and covered afterwards, it can be observed that smoke can occupy space and the mass can be obtained. Smoke measurements are made with photometer system shining vertically through the tunnel near the exhaust end. The percentage of light absorbed by the smoke in the exhaust gases is recorded against time. The area under the curve obtained is taken as a measure of the total quantity of smoke produced. Now, our next question is, do you think light and heat have mass? Do they occupy space? If your answer is no, then you are correct. Heat and light do not have mass. They do not occupy space because these are not matter. Heat is an energy in transit, and light is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy, and energy is not a form of matter because it is not composed of atoms or molecules. Same as light. Light is a form of energy, not matter, because as we all know, matter is made up of atoms. Light is actually electromagnetic radiation. Moving electric charge or moving electrons or the electric current cause a magnetic field, and a changing magnetic field creates an electric current or electric field. And alam niyo ba that based on your observations, while you are doing and identifying these samples if it is matter or not, you are just observing the characteristics of this sample of matter. Yes, you are describing some characteristics of matter. And these characteristics of a given sample of matter are called properties. Matter can have different properties. We can measure the mass of an object by simply using an equipment or an instrument like spring balance, weighing scale, or a triple beam balance. Remember that the mass of an object is a measure of the amount of matter the object has. And as you can notice in our activity, we have here the water. And this water, as you can see, it occupies the space of this container. Okay, remember that the measure of the space occupied by an object is called volume. Remember that all matter has mass and space. Kaya nga sabi natin, matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. And also remember that matter has different properties such as hardness, texture, color, flexibility, malleability, electrical conductivity, which can vary from one sample to another. We are all familiar with matter. The definition of matter is anything that has mass and volume, takes up space. For most common objects that we deal with every day, it is fairly simple to demonstrate that they have mass and take up space. You might be able to imagine, however, the difficulty for people several hundred years ago to demonstrate that air had mass and volume. Air and all other gases are invisible to the eye, have very small masses compared to the equal amounts of solids and liquids, and are quite easy to compress, which is change in volume. Without sensitive equipment, it would have been difficult to convince people that gases are also matter. If you can still recall your science during your grade 7 days, you can still remember that you have studied also the different properties of matter or the common properties of solutions, wherein you investigated how fast this sugar and salt can be dissolved in water. At another thing is you compare the boiling point of a substance, which is the distilled water, and also with that mixture, which is the salt water. Now, one of the important things that you should remember and you should know about this topic is what is matter made of? Paano nga ba nabuo ang isang matter? Okay, kumuha kayo ng chalk, itry nyong durugin, dukdukin, ano ang naging resulta? Okay, di ba? Ang liliit niyan. Okay, now, we have here a stone. Itry nga natin kumuha ng hammer, tapos pukpukin natin tong stone na to. What do you think will happen? Ano kaya ngayon ang makikita nyo? Now, paano naman kunwari yung yellow? Okay, tinanggal mo ngayon sa freezer. Yes, the ice. Okay, tinanggal mo sa freezer, nilagay mo lang siya sa ibabaw ng inyong lababo. Okay, balikan nyo siya after 5 hours. What happened? O, di ba naging tubig na? Okay, so next question is all about what is matter made of? And these questions can be answered in our next activity, which is, what is matter made of? Hi! Okay, now let us proceed with activity number 2. What is matter made of? In this activity, you're going to infer from given situations or observable events what matter is made of. And then, you're going to explain how these observed situations or events give evidence that matter is made up of tiny particles. In this activity, what is matter made of? We're going to prepare this materials. So, ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung mga materials na gagamitin natin. So, we have 1/2 cup of refined sugar. Okay, so, ang ginawa ko ay, since kailangan kasi talaga natin ng graduated cylinder, but since wala tayo ngayon sa school at wala rin akong graduated cylinder dito sa bahay, so itong measuring cup na lang na pang medicine ang aking ginamit. So ang sabi kasi dito ay using a clean and dry graduated cylinder, so let us pour sugar with 20 ml mark of the graduated cylinder. Since wala nga tayo, dito na lang. So ito siya sa 20, ba't ganun ayo? 20, basta 20 ml to. Okay, and then, let us prepare also 1 cup of distilled clean tap water or clean tip tap water. So, ito na siya. And then, we also have 1 piece of 100 ml graduated cylinder. So, since wala nga, at kailangan din nating mag-prepare ng 50 ml of distilled or clean tap water using graduated cylinder. Since wala nga, ito naman, kinuha ko ang aming takalan ng bigas pag nagsasaing sa rice cooker. Since meron naman kasi siyang ayan, ito ay 50 ml ng water. Sabi dito, after measuring 50 ml of water, so we're going to add the 50 ml of sugar and then we mix it thoroughly. Teka, baka tayo nag-proceed agad sa procedure? I'm just introducing first the materials that we're going to use in this activity. So aside from that, since wala din tayong yun nga, graduated cylinder, so ito na lang din, mahalaga ay transparent at makikita natin yung ating gagawin later. And then, wala rin akong dropper. Ano ba yan? Puro wala. So, since walang dropper, at kailangan din natin ng food coloring, it's either blue, green, or red. Wala rin akong food color. Ano ba yan? Pero meron ako nakitang alternative. So, meron ako ditong ink ng printer. At since wala akong dropper, pwede na to. Kasi di ba ito pag ginanon mo naman, parang na rin siyang dropper. So ito, yellow na lang ang ating gagamitin. Sana umepekto siya. And then, stirrer. So wala rin akong stirrer. So kumuha tayo ng alternative. kutsara na lang. Pwede na tong stirrer. Ito naman talaga yung panghalo natin. Okay, so let us now proceed with our activity number 2. So the first thing that you have to do after preparing all the materials that are needed in our activity. So the next thing that you have to do is, sabi sa procedure number 4, add 50 ml of water to the sugar and mix it thoroughly. So, ito yung 20 ml ng sugar. So, ilalagay natin siya dito. And then, imimix natin siya. And then, after mixing this thoroughly, you are going to taste the solution. Caution lang, do not try to taste anything in the laboratory experiment unless you are told to do so. So, kung hindi naman pinapatikman, huwag niyong titikman. Okay, so pag na-mix na natin siya, okay, ang first question is, what is the taste of the resulting mixture? So, since malinis naman yung tubig at yung ginamit ko dito, titikman ko siya. Ang tamis. Siyempre, ano ba ina-expect natin? Sugar ito, mixed with water. So, gatas na lang ang kulang. Pwede na natin siyang inumin. Okay, so of course, it tastes sweet. Okay, we may think about the sugar and the water is consists and composed of tiny particles. Okay, so the mixture is sweet because of course, sugar is still present. But, we cannot see it anymore. Yan, kasi syempre nagmix na siya, natunaw na, na-dissolve na yung sugar doon sa tubig. Okay, the sugar particles mix well with the water particles. Okay, next question. Di ba kanina, 20 ml yung sugar and then 50 ml yung water. When we mix it, and then na-dissolve na siya, the next question is, do you think it is still 70 ml? Kasi if 20 plus 50, 70, do you think nung na-mix ba, 70 ml pa rin siya? The volume of the resulting mixture is less than the sum of the volumes of the unmixed sugar and water. Ang tanong, bakit po ma'am? Pinagsama naman po natin sila. So, di ba pag pinag-add natin yung dalawang numbers, it should result to 70 because 20 ml of sugar and 50 ml of water is 70 ml. Pero bakit po kaya less than 70 ml na? Okay, this is the answer. The combined volume is less than the sum of 20 ml and 50 ml of water. This only shows that water is made up of tiny particles with spaces between them. So, the sugar particles, ang nangyari sa sugar particles, are able to fit into the spaces because the sugar particles that dissolve in the water are very small. This could not even be observed with the unaided eye. The next step, pour 1 cup of tap water in a transparent glass bottle. But since we do not have a glass bottle, so let us just have a transparent cup. Okay, next. Add 1 small drop of food coloring slowly along the side of the transparent bottle. Okay, set aside the bottle with food coloring in a locker or corner of your room without disturbing the setup. Describe the appearance of the contents of the water or the bottle after 1 day. Compare it with the appearance when you left the bottle the previous day. Describe what you observe after adding the food coloring. As you can observe in this situation, the food coloring flowed along the side of the bottle and spread slowly towards the bottom of the container and began to spread throughout the water. Next question is, what happens to the food coloring drop in the bottle containing water? Okay, let us observe. After 1 day, the food coloring has totally spread throughout the water since the resulting mixture has a color almost the same as that of the food coloring. Let us think about food coloring and water as made up of particles. Since both the food coloring and water are made up of particles, the particles of food coloring are able to fit into the spaces of water molecule. Studying what matter is made of involves dealing with tiny particles that beyond what our eyes can see. Almost 2,500 years ago, Leucippus and his disciple Democritus, naniniwala sila na ang nature ay binubuo daw ng dalawang bagay, atoms and the void that surrounds them. Okay, so para mas lalo pa nating maintindihan yung tungkol sa structure ng atom, pag-usapan natin itong mga tao behind this structure of atom or yung mga concepts and ideas nila na pinopose nila tungkol dito sa atom. Atomic theory gives explanation about the composition of properties of matter. Well, in fact, noong 500 BC, marami tayong mga Greek philosophers na nagpropose nitong mga idea tungkol sa matter. Nandyan si Leucippus and Democritus, andyan si Aristotle, Empedocles, John Dalton, J.J. Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, and Niels Bohr. So, kikilalanin natin siya along the process of explanation about this matter. At kagaya nga ng nabanggit kanina tungkol kay Leucippus and Democritus, itong si Democritus, siya yung disciple nitong si Leucippus. And they proposed that if one were to cut pieces of element into smaller and smaller pieces, so it would eventually lead to uncuttable. So, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Okay, for example, meron tayong piece of paper. So, itry natin siyang gupitin. Okay, and then ginupit ulit natin siya. Ginupit ulit natin siya. Ginupit natin. Ginupit. Ginupit. Hanggang siya isa lumiit ng lumiit. Okay, at dadating sa point na, ayan, sobrang liit. Hindi na natin siya makat. So, yun yung tinatawag na atomos or invisible. So, kagaya ng chalk, sabi ko sa inyo, kapag pinutol nyo yan, tapos pinutol nyo ulit, pinutol nyo na pinutol na pinutol, hanggang pinutol ng pinutol nyo, yung pinakamaliit nyo, hindi nyo na kayang putulin. Kasi nga, eventually, it will yield to uncuttable. So, that is according to Democritus. So, naniniwala sa Democritus na any piece of matter can be divided and subdivided into very small particles. Pero once na na-reach na niya yung point na hindi na niya kayang i-divide yung sarili niya. So, yun yung tinatawag nating atomos or invisible. The idea of the atom was not further explored until a little over 2 centuries ago when John Dalton presented concrete evidence that all matter is made up of very small particle called atoms. Ano ba yung atoms? What is atom? Atom is the smallest particle of an element that has all the properties of an element. Today, we know that although atoms are very small, they are not indivisible as Democritus taught. Rather, they consist of still smaller particles. Democritus was right in one aspect of his belief. That is, atoms are the smallest particles of which substances are made. When you were in grade 7, napag-aralan nyo rin naman yung tungkol sa mga elements, di ba? At alam nyo na that atoms of most elements, meron silang kakayahan na mag-combine with another atom. Different elements have different properties because the combining atoms are different and the way the atoms are joined together are also different. Hayaan nyo at sa mga kasunod nating lesson vlog, pag-aaralan naman natin kung paano ba nag-evolve yung model ng atom until the present time. And you will also learn that atom is still made up of even smaller parts. Yes, kahit sobrang liliit na ng atom, meron pa rin siyang part na mas maliit pa. At ano kaya yun? Even though the universe consists of things as widely different as ants and galaxies, the matter that makes up all these things is composed of a very limited number of building blocks. These building blocks are known as atoms, and so far, scientists have discovered or created a grand total of 100 different types of atoms. Scientists have given a name to each different type of atom. A substance that is composed of only one type of atom is called an element. At this point, what should amaze you is that all forms of matter in our universe are made with only 118 different building blocks. Let us now proceed with molecule. So what is a molecule? When we say molecule, this is a particle consisting of two or more atoms combined together in a specific arrangement. It is an electrically neutral particle. It is the smallest particle of an element or compound that can exist independently. Example, molecule of a water. So, di ba pag ang molecule ng water, it is H2O. So, ibig sabihin, it's a combination of two hydrogen atom and one oxygen. Another example is oxygen in the air, which consists of oxygen molecules which are made up of two oxygen atoms. And you also have to remember that atoms are too small to observe. At itong atom na to, dahil sa sobrang liit nga niya, hindi siya basta-basta nakikita kahit gumamit ka pa ng high-powered light microscopes na ginagamit natin sa mga school laboratories. Bakit? Sapagkat itong size ng atom can be measured in angstrom. And remember that 1 angstrom is a unit of length equal to the 1/10 millionth of a millimeter. The best light microscope can magnify an image only about 1,500 times. Electron microscopes create a highly magnified image of up to 1 million times. The scanning tunneling microscope, or the STM, allows scientists to view and scan the surface of very small particles like atoms. It can magnify an image 10 million times. The STM creates a profile of the surface of an atom, and then a computer-generated model or contour map is produced. So, only a model of the surface of an atom is generated by a computer when a scanning tunneling microscope is used. The picture of atoms generated is unlike the picture we... Okay, let's go back to the activity number 2, where we conducted an experiment about mixing the sugar with water. So, nung tinikman natin itong combination ng water at saka ng sugar, syempre, it still tastes sweet. Bakit? Kasi nandun pa rin yung sugar molecule, nandun pa rin yung sugar content, although hindi na natin siya nakikita. Let us talk about the volume. The volume of the mixture is less than the combined volume of the unmixed sugar and water. Bakit kaya less than 70 ml siya? Okay, it's because the particles of the water is smaller. Meron siyang tiny particles with spaces between them. Samantalang ito namang sugar, meron siyang malalaking particles. So, nung nag-combine sila, parang nag-fit lang itong maliliit na particles ng water doon sa spaces ng malalaking particles ng sugar. So, kaya ang nangyari ay less than siya, or less than noong totoo or kabuuang measurement. In short, the water molecules could fit in the spaces between the sugar molecules and vice versa. Okay, kayo ba? Familiar ba kayo dun sa pointillism? Map ito. So, yung pointillism, ito yung method ng mga painter or yung mga artist. Okay, this is the method of painting using dots to come up with various effects. Kumbaga, nagdo-drawing sila, hindi drawing lang na guhit-guhit, pero tuldok-tuldok para mag-create ng a picture. So, ito yung mga example ng pointillism. So, ito yung mga picture na pag zoom out mo, pag zoom natin ng zoom, hindi pala siya color or paint kasi puro dot lang siya. Pointillism. Anong meron dito? So, ito yung para ding sa matter. Kumbaga, yung drawing nito, ito yung pinaka-matter. Tapos, kung titingnan mo yung, yung nakabuo dito sa painting na to, pag titingnan mo mabuti, yun pala yung mga tuldok-tuldok na pwedeng mag-overlap or pwedeng medyo may mga magkakahiwalay din na spacing. So, ano bang meron dito? A good analogy to consider related to matter being composed of tiny particles is the pointillist style of painting. The images in a pointillist painting appear continuous, but if one looks closely, the images are actually made of small dots. Pointillism is a method of painting using dots to come up with various effects. The dots are placed singly, in rows, or randomly. These dots can also be in groups or they can be overlapping. They can be either uniform or varied in size in the same painting. Matter is similarly assembled, with atoms of different elements combining in various ways to give a tremendous variety of substances. This is the end of our lesson vlog for week 1, quarter 3 of module 1 in your Science 8. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this lesson vlog. So see you again sa ating kasunod na vlog. That is a continuation of our lesson about the particle nature of matter. So we're going to perform another set of experiment and activities. Okay, see you on my next vlog. So I hope nandun pa rin kayo at subaybayan nyo ang ating mga next lesson vlog. Sana'y nakatulong ang video na to para sa'yo. Syempre, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more updates in Science 8. Thank you and goodbye! Nag-subscribe ka na ba? Subscribe ka muna! Salamat! Bye!